like it's spelling my doom, but I've got a soul that can't diagnose. I've walked through fire and I'm still close to everything I'm meant to be, not just what they see. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm not their doubt. I've got a voice and I'm gonna shout. I've got dreams that won't be tamed, I've got joy they can't explain. So don't you write my story yet. I'm more than limits and regret. I'm still rising year by year. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm still here. Some days hurt, some days shine, but I've made peace with this heart of mine. I've got cracks, but they let light in. That's where the strength begins. No shame in being real, that's how I heal. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm not their doubt. I've got a voice and I'm gonna shout. I've got dreams that won't be tamed, I've got joy they can't explain. So don't you write my story yet. I'm more than limits and regret. I'm still rising year by year. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm still here. Might walk a little slower, but my heart beats just as loud. Might fall and get back up again, but I wear that proud. 'Cause brave looks different on everyone, and I'm proud of who I've become. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm more than pain, more than letters next to my name. I've got fire, I've got grace, I've got hope you can't erase. So don't you tell me who I am, I'm writing that with my own hand. I'm still singing loud and clear. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here. And I'm not my diagnosis.
It's that time again. I feel like I was just here, and I was just some hours ago at 10 a.m. with the book launch of the first 5 authors in the second volume of We Choose to Be More Than Our Diagnoses. I am Nick, your host, and I am the owner of Guiding Brilliant Writers. I am so thrilled to have these writers here with us today. This morning we met 5 of them, and now we're going to hear the stories from 7 more. When this book was started last year, I knew we would continue to do this every year. This is more than just a book. This is a movement toward ending stigmas, and it's a movement to help others out there know that they are not alone. If you follow Guiding Brilliant Writers and saw any of my posts recently, you might have noticed that I shared about a visit with my psychiatrist on Friday. Unfortunately, the last month or so, I have been struggling a bit. And with that visit, my mood stabilizer was increased slightly. And the last few days have definitely taken some adjusting. I am feeling much better. I still don't feel 100%. Needless to say, on the heels of a book launch, that is not where I want it to be. But it's quite interesting that it happened at this time. It is the reminder that I so often say we're not alone. With the group of writers here and the grace that they showed me, I know that I'm not alone. So we're actually going to have some fun tonight as well. Every book launch, and this is the 9th for Guiding Brilliant Writers Anthologies at least, we do giveaways. And so this morning we gave away 3 Amazon gift cards, a $5, $10, and a $15. We will be doing the same tonight. So if you have been following Guiding Brilliant Writers, you are sure to be able to answer some of these questions. So stick around and let us have some fun. I'm going to start now with wishing, or rather saying hello to everyone in the comments. It is so wonderful to see you, Meryl, my friend out there in New Jersey. Gorgeous weather, right? It's so nice here in New York. And Cheyenne, who joined us this morning. on the launch. Congratulations again, my friend, on the launch of your book. Our friend Jackie Halberg. Jackie was the first to be the ARC reader for this book, left us a beautiful review. You would have seen that posted today. And I want to thank her for all of her incredible support over the years. And there is Leslie Flowers, our co author as well. Leslie is a tad under the weather because I had her jump on at the last minute at 10 o'clock this morning to help us out. And Ariel is here as well. This is Jacob's mom. Jacob is supposed to be on with us tonight. Christy, thank you. It is so wonderful to see you joining us again this evening. Okay, so let us get started because we have so many people to bring up. Wait, I would be remiss if I did not say hello to Stephen Eng, my neighbor right out here, just 30 minutes away. We have to catch up because I have to put a copy of this book in your hand, of course. Yes, Gabe, this is live. Gabe's wife, Yvette, was on this morning and is also a co-author in the book. Okay, I guess, oh wait, now I have to turn around and say hello to Angela, my other friend, who's just about 20 minutes away from me. Okay, I gotta stop now so we bring everyone up. If I didn't shout you out, I certainly will shout you out shortly. So I'm gonna start with bringing Gretchen up on stage. Gretchen, please welcome to the stage. How are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Thank you. I am well. I am much better than I was feeling last week. And, that it's nothing to complain about. Our launch is here. This has been 5 months in the making for all of us, time and energy and meetings and revisions and promotions. And it can be quite an involved process, especially when everybody's lifing as we do. So tell me, how do you feel today? What were you thinking this morning when you woke up? Has anyone reached out to you about the book?
So I'm always excited when a book comes out. This is my third. I had published my own memoir about 18 months ago, and I published in another book, Anthology, last year. And I have to admit, this isn't what I ever envisioned myself doing because I always wrote academically. But I must say, this is a lot harder, but a lot more fun. So and I think it's a lot more impactful because I know that uh, more people read books like this than they probably ever read my journal articles. So that to me is awesome. So no, I felt great. This is something to be truly celebrated. I think I work a lot in patient experience and such, and anytime a anybody's voice gets amplified, I'm all in because we need more of it. And so super excited for today.
Do you think this is a book that you might share uh, wherever you are? I know you teach. I know that you're oftentimes in facilities and such like that. Do you think this is a book that might be considered helpful?
Yeah, so I work in a medical school, and I work with mainly with residents, so people who have already graduated, who are already physicians. And I talk to them all the time about taking time to learn their patients' stories so that they have a better understanding beyond the lab results, beyond the symptoms, beyond just the quantifiable things that they like to look at.
Yes.
Because we can all have normal lab results and still feel really awful. And so they need to dig deeper. They need to understand more of what the experience is, but then they also need to know them as people. They need to know them beyond whatever the diagnosis is. They got to, one of my challenges with obesity is that was the only way that my physician saw me. And every time I had something going on, they always attributed it to my obesity. Well, that went on for 5 years for these certain set of symptoms, and come to find out I had cancer because they could not see past the obesity. And I am challenging all healthcare providers to see beyond the obvious, to see beyond what they think is going on based on whatever the diagnoses are. Because one, you miss out on understanding people at the level of being a person. And you also sometimes can miss some really important other things that are going on. So it's hard sometimes, but we really have to keep pushing and keep talking and keep sharing, because that's the only way we're going to really get our voices out there.
Yes, and thank you for sharing that. I'm looking down because as I'm listening to you, what you're saying picks up so much on the foreword that was written for us by Dr. Steve Hudgens. Dr. Steve Hudgens is a licensed therapist, and as well has his degree in behavioral psychology. Some of what he wrote was exactly that, especially in his early years, in doing his residencies, that you go in and what you experience is very, very different than what you were taught in the textbooks. When you begin to sit with the patients, you see them as more than just the chart. It's
Yeah.
not what's written on the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it takes on a whole different meaning. And he wrote something in here that I thought was I want to share this. A diagnosis may describe a chapter of a life, but it can never contain the entirety of a human soul. There's always more present than what can be written in a chart, more unfolding than we can be predicted by a label. And what he
Mm-hmm.
meant by that as well is that the diagnosis often takes up space in the room well before the treatment.
Yeah.
That's what precedes, and many continue to see beyond the treatment that is, happening or happened, and the end result of that. And when you think of someone's story like yours, where the scale does not define me, you do not allow that um, situation of obesity to become your identity, even though others try to make it your identity. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so obesity is one of those situations where everybody knows you have it. I mean, the minute you walk out the door, you can't hide it. Everybody knows. And as humans, we like to put people in categories because it makes it easier for us to navigate the world. And so in our brains, we're going, tall, short, thin, overweight, whatever. And then we make assumptions based on whatever categories we have put people in. And with obesity, because there is so much stigma, because there is so much negativity, because there are so many assumptions, especially negative assumptions, about what kind of person I must be because I was not a normal weight. I have to admit that the combination of how other people treated me and how I treated myself was not a good combination.
Hmm.
And for many, many decades, I did let obesity define me. My confidence wasn't very high. I wasn't sure that I could accomplish more than kind of the minimum because obviously, if I had a weight problem, I wasn't that smart. There was clearly something wrong with me. Now, after a while, you start learning because life throws things at you and you figure some things out, right? If you're paying attention, you start figuring out, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, wait, maybe I do have more potential than this. Maybe those other people are wrong. And what I found out as I got older is I am smart. I was able to, not just because I got a PhD, but I think a lot of my experiences allowed me to really see people as they are, and not just what my assumptions were. I had to start questioning my assumptions that I made about other people as well. I didn't like it when they did it about me. I had to be careful about what I did with other people. So as I got older, I tried to turn it around as a strength. My empathy is a superpower. My ability to connect with people is a superpower. And the fact that maybe because I weigh more than other people did, that doesn't negate all those other really good qualities. I was a great daughter and a wonderful sister, and I'm a wife and all those things. And so that was just one piece of who I was, not everything about me. So
Mhm.
I think part of it was age, and then I got to an age where I didn't care, and then I lost a whole bunch of weight, and and that changed a whole lot about how I was perceived. But it was a lot about how I perceive myself
Yes,
more
yes,
so than how, because people used to ask me, "Don't you get mad because people treat you differently?" And I said, "I'm not mad at them because they're treating me differently. I'm mad at me because I was treating myself so poorly." And so people treat you how you let them treat you. And I finally figured out to quit hiding my light under, so other people didn't get uncomfortable. And, so over the decades, I figured a few things out, and I'm much
that's great.
happier.
I'm so happy, and like you say, so that other people don't get uncomfortable. We are no one stigma, and we certainly can be the ones to stigmatize ourselves the
We can,
greatest.
we can.
So, Gretchen, I want to thank you again so much for participating in the book, and that's you right there.
I wish I could still wear that suit.
Well, you look very nice in your you are
And
more than a diagnosis
yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah.
I love the color on you. And
No,
please go ahead and scan the QR code above Gretchen and grab a copy of your ebook. It is 99 cents today only, and it is going to go up tomorrow. So reach out to Gretchen and let her know how much you love the story. Gretchen, thank you so much. And thank you for lending your medical expertise here
no.
as well. I think it was very important for people to hear from that side of things, and what it is people in the medical field are also facing with needing to be able to have that level of empathy.
I
So if you
agree.
want
Thank
to,
you, Nick. It's been a pleasure.
you're very welcome. If you want to hang out backstage, enjoy the rest of the show.
I sure will. Take care.
Bye bye. Oh my goodness, so wonderful, isn't it? So I'm going to throw out the first trivia question and give the audience a chance to think about this. And I am going to ask you to please bear with me. Perhaps Yvette out there can do me a favor. Yvette, if you see somebody answer the question correctly, oh wait, but you would have to know the answer, wouldn't you? Shoot, because normally I've had Leslie keeping track of who answered the question correctly, but that's okay. I could keep one eye on there and one eye here. I'll try. Okay, so here's the first question. And again, if you've been following Guiding Brilliant Writers and you have been following a little bit of what's been happening in the last 20 minutes, because I realized after I opened my big fat mouth that I gave away some of the answers, but you guys didn't know the questions yet. All right, so for a $5 Amazon gift card, who was the first person to be an ARC reviewer of this book? That means that they read the book in advance and they were the first person to give us a written review that is actually printed in our book. If you saw my post this morning, you would actually know who this person is. And if you can get me her name correctly, you will get yourself a $5 Amazon gift card. Okay, so we are going to bring our next guest up. Our next guest is Amy Abel. I met Amy through a connection, and I want to share that because I think it's important when we talk about building relationships that started online. This is how far those relationships can go. I ended up knowing this person, collaborating with this person. I actually have one of her products in my home right now. And when I reached out and asked if she knew anybody that might be interested in writing, it actually turned out to be Amy that she recommended, and Amy joined right away. So I am going to bring Amy up, and I do want you to know I am seeing your answers in the comments, but we shall address that after. With that, Amy, welcome to the stage. Hello, hello, how are you?
Hey, how are you, Nicole?
I'm,
Good to
I'm
see
doing
you.
fine. I want to know how you do it. How you
Yeah.
do it.
Good. I am excited. I woke up this morning, I think usually before my normal wake time, and I was like, Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, that's right. And you're gonna feel that way when you're holding it in your hand. Oh my
I
goodness.
can't wait. I did order some, and I actually ordered one for my neurologist too. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna get it to her as well.
Well,
Yeah.
that's wonderful, because you actually, mention her and pay tribute to her in the chapter. She's going to be wonderfully surprised when she sees that.
I think so too.
So,
Yeah.
I'm excited for everyone to hold theirs. I have the special copy that says not for resale, and that might have a little blip or two because it's the author's copy. And I always hold on to these because they're everything to me. This is where you're going. Oh my goodness, did I miss a period? Did I miss a line?
That's how. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's how we all felt.
Right, and you probably felt that way when you submitted your chapter, which is great, because this kind of brings me to my question for you, because this is your first time doing something like this. How did you feel? I'm gonna don't want to wrap myself out here, but it's okay, because I am transparent, and I feel that everyone who's worked with me during this project knows that. I really want you to share with the audience what it felt like to submit your draft for the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, was there nerves? Was there anticipation? Did you feel like I knocked it out the ballpark? I can't wait till she reads this, because there are so many different emotions that you can have for the first time when you're sending this to someone who is going to read and give you feedback.
Exactly. I think so. One thing I want to say though too, I didn't jump in immediately. So when Janice asked me about participating in this, and she said I have thought about this, and Janice is a dear friend of mine from college, and she knows my story, and we've known each other for since we were like 19 years old and 18 years old. It took me a few days to say, let me do this, because it was a lot of the vulnerability of it, I think, and taking those the story, the emotions, and putting that down to a piece of paper is one thing. Deciding to share that story and with anybody in the world, essentially, it's pretty daunting. And again, having been a first-time author, I've done some writing in college and through work and PR releases, my old job and all that stuff, but nothing quite like this, where you are exposing yourself and your vulnerabilities and your story. So to that point, I think that when I submitting that first draft, I was doing a lot of brain dumping. I think we talked about this a couple of different times. And with your help and your guidance and your editing, you were like, do this, take that big chunk, break it down. And it made so much more sense to me. And I think as I went on a little bit more, I became a little bit more confident in what I was putting out there. I still don't think it's perfect, because I think I could, like to your point, I'm like, I want to bring it back and do it again and edit it again and fix things. But I think that the importance of it, predicated what I felt about my own self and sharing that. Just because there's so many, other people have said this before on This Morning, and again, Gretchen as well, putting it out there so people can relate and people have a connection. And you talked about the connections even that brought us together. And so allowing for that, it was an exciting opportunity for me. And having that, so I didn't tell my whole family until I was almost halfway through it. So nobody really proofread it for me at all except you. And my husband.
That's my job, and now they get to walk away, reading the story, not looking at any topography or anything like that, but actually taking away the finished version. You were wonderful to work with. It's sometimes difficult to work with first-time writers because they are so very nervous and they aren't used to feedback, and you want to be delicate as well as approachable when you're handling people's work, because this is their life on paper. This is not just write about some random topic. And I went into this because I wrote and I had a great experience, and I knew what it felt like to, hold the book in my hand for the first time, open it and see my name, see my picture. And I thought, wow, this is an experience like everyone needs to have at least once in their life. I mean, it's such an incredible experience,
Yeah.
and we all have a story, and we could talk to so many different themes, but nobody can write it. Nobody's lived it. Nobody can write it for us until we tell them. I mean, we could have a ghostwriter write it. That's fine, but we still have to tell them. Amy, thank you for saying yes to yourself, to the opportunity. I'm dying to know what your neurologist thinks when she reads the book. Certainly share that.
I'll sign for her.
Certainly, I'm sure she's going to be like, "Can you autograph this? And can I get a copy to leave in the office?"
Well, I'm hoping
like, this is my patient.
Give it to all your new patients.
Right?
Yeah, but I will say one thing, and I know you've got lots more people to bring on too, and I will just say that this whole experience just inspired me to maybe do a little bit more, even whether it's advocacy or even just doing my own story again and doing another story or something, because the writing thing and the whole publishing thing, and it was really empowering. So, and when you said you gave feedback and you didn't want to be too harsh, I'm like, bring it, because the more you said, oh, do it this way or try this way, the more I learned. And so I'm grateful for that opportunity, and I'm grateful for Janice for connecting us too.
Oh, she did reach out actually yesterday, so I'm so grateful.
Oh, good.
She was tracking that this was happening. Cheyenne's also sharing that she too didn't share.
I just saw her comment. That's
I know.
I can't respond, otherwise I'll like log myself out or something. But I just saw her comment. That was my intention, Cheyenne. I was actually gonna like just kind of say, "Hey, look what I did," but then it just got to the point where I'm like, you know what, I can't keep this in. I was stressing myself out. So.
Oh, it's like Tanya Boggs would say in her chapter. I could give away little snippets. She was that person that she couldn't wait for Christmas, so she would get under the tree and she would get the knife and slice open the Scotch tape and stick it back on. And I know it's hard to keep a surprise, and it really is. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Enjoy your rest of your show. I'm going to bring you backstage and stick around till the end. I have a little something that I'm going to show you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Oh, goodness gracious. So welcoming some other people that have joined the room. Yolanda, I see you. Thank you so much, my friend, for being here. LinkedIn user, help me out. This could either be Jen Lynn or it could be Damien. I'm not sure. I hope that I didn't not get you right, but usually it's one of you. And thank you so much for purchasing our copy. Do go back and leave a review. We would love to know your thoughts on the book. And there is my 26th Lisa Fevek. How is the weather in Trinidad? Don't even tell me. I don't want to know. Oh, wait, I don't mind this time because it is gorgeous in New York right now. All right, let us bring up Ariel. Ariel, as far as I see, answered the question correctly. Jackie Halberg is indeed the person that read our book and gave us the review before we published. So Ariel, I will make sure that I send that $5 Amazon gift card off to you. And thank you so much for playing along. So I don't know. Should we do another trivia question? No, I think we are going to wait because I am very excited to bring up the next person. Whew. Okay. I don't know where to start, but I can say that I've hoped to have worked with her over the couple last years, and it's a twin blessing for me to be able to have her be a part of this book. Not only does she talk about part of her diagnosis, which is bipolar, and that really and truly tremendously helped me. I read her story to my husband the other day. We were sitting out in the back, and I told him there were things that expressed in there that I've had difficulty expressing. And it actually gave context to some of the not so nice moods that I could get into. that are, inexplicable, that just come out of nowhere. So I am really thrilled to bring Leigh Scheidel on. Um, it looks like she might have just stepped away for a quick minute. Okay, so I'm just gonna give Leigh a minute so that she could get back. Wait, there she is. Haha. There we go. Leigh, welcome to the stage.
I have dogs, and so you know how that can be at times. They make up their own mind about what's happening. So, how
Right?
are you?
Absolutely. Well, my husband got home from work just in time at a 5:45. Literally shoved a sandwich down his throat and went outside with Nelly Belly. So I'm like, thank you very much. Keep her outside. Go for a nice long walk because I'm going to be live. And, as I was telling you guys, she rolled off the couch 5 minutes into the show this morning. And I was trying not to bust out laughing. So I'm kind of glad she's not in here right now. But I see you got your shirt. The purple looks lovely on you.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. I love it.
actually, it
Thank you
kind of
for the
matches your
gift.
background. Sorry.
Thank you for the gift.
Oh, you're welcome. You're so welcome. I meant every word, and I am grateful that you said yes to this opportunity. And I want to know how you feel today. Like, seriously, how are you feeling today? Like, is this the first time that you're being published?
Yes, it is. I'm nervous. So I've been nervous all day, but I woke up energetic. I woke up really early, and I was like, get up and ready to go and do things, and it just the motivation change for me was really a good boost. I've not been doing well since we lost Papa almost 6 months ago now. So
Mhm.
this is good for me. This is real good for me.
I'm really glad to hear that. We're all challenged with a loss, and we're all challenged with things daily. When we don't have a worthy distraction, because we always have distractions, it can make it that much more difficult. And I am so glad you were able to be a part of the group um, to honor your story and those of your co authors. And I want to thank you deeply for what you shared in your chapter, because as I said, it gave me a lot of context for some of the things that I've been through and I've not been able to um, kind of express myself. So, share with us a little bit, if you don't mind, because I know that you are a veteran and you were able to have some assistance with, you know, what you were dealing with. And I know there are a lot of veterans out there as well that have and some that have not. If you could sit with another veteran right now, living with a diagnosis, any diagnosis, and give them, a couple of minutes of your time, eh, give them some inspiration, some advice on how to stay strong in their mindset, what would that be? What would that look like?
The VA now offers a program, actually a couple of them that do CBT and DBT, and it's cognitive behavioral therapy, and
Okay, good.
there's dialectic behavioral therapy. And they both basically are about your mindset, being mindful of what you're thinking about all the time, and
Hmm.
how important that really is, because we have to put everything in context. And
Hmm.
yes, there's a lot of us that have bad memories, PTSD, all the different things. We have to be able to put them in compartments so that we can function the rest of the time. And we can experience those during the times that it's safe to do so, to release some of the energy from it so we can get rid of it.
Yeah, it's not that easy to compartmentalize. And, especially when you're living with something that, let's say it's physical and the symptoms are always there, whether it's pain or numbness or something like that. But again, so much of your outlook on what it is that you're going through affects how it is that you cope every single day. So
Absolutely.
thank you for sharing that. If you'll just bear with me for 1 second here, folks, I am there we go. So believe you are enough as you are. And that is Lay's chapter. And I am trying to find her chapter here. There we go. So that latest chapter in the book, and I think I was trying to also show Amy's, and I may have missed it. I want to just share one last thing before we bring Lay off. I'm going to keep drawing back to connections. Lay is a licensed drone operator. This is not something that I think of every day. No, it is not. And every now and then I'll see a drone around, and didn't realize that one actually belonged to my neighbor who came into the backyard and said, "Did you see my drone flying over?" I'm like, "Yeah, could you get your drone out of my backyard?" But listen, every time I see one now, I think of her. And that's why I say that, because connections, again, these are the friendships that go way beyond the screen, the ones that last a lifetime. And if you did not know, yes, shameless plug, this woman is an absolutely fantastic photographer and videographer, and I'm really looking forward to working with her in the near future. Lay, thank you again for saying yes to this opportunity. And if there is one thing that you want readers to take away, whether or not they're diagnosed with something, what is it that you want them to take away from reading your chapter?
I desire that everybody learns to believe that they are enough just as they are. That's
exactly what
so important to me.
And that was your message from the very beginning, and you end with it as well. Thank you so much for being with us, Lee. I'm going to bring you backstage, and if you want to hang out and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you.
Thanking everyone in the audience for all your comments and support. I am seeing it. Just, again, an incredible group of writers. This book is something that everybody needs to read. The ebook is just 99 cents today. And when you make a purchase and you read the book and you go back on Amazon and you leave a review, somebody else comes along and reads that review and decides to purchase the book. This is what a ripple effect looks like. You read the book, your voice is now with the writers in the pages of this book, and it's going to go out there and reach so many more. One person can move the masses. The masses of all of us joined together can move the entire world. And that is what we're trying to do here. And if we just think we're one and we can't make a difference, we are never going to make change. All right, so let us play another. Why don't we play another? This one is for a $10 gift card to Amazon. Who is the person that Guiding Brilliant Writers will soon be publishing a second children's storybook for? If you can answer that question in the comments, you will get yourself a $10 Amazon gift card. And I am going to ask that question again. Who is the person that Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing will be publishing a second children's storybook for this year? All right, so with that, let us bring up our next guest. We're going to bring to the stage Jade. Oh my goodness, Jade is Lisa Joyce's daughter. She is a very good friend of mine, and I have met her several times. I know her through Chase beforehand. And, well, I'm just going to bring Jade up because I want to share this story with you while Jade is on stage. Jade, welcome to the stage. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I am great. You're looking nice, wearing that shirt.
Got a rep.
Got a rep. I love it. So I gotta tell my son that, because Jade, how old are you?
23.
Okay, and my kiddo is 28, and I'm gonna see him on Saturday, and I'm gonna wear something and be like, I got a rep. So you know, I turned 50 yesterday, so sometimes he tells me, Mom, really? You live on social media. You can't not be with it like this. I'm like, look, I can't keep up with everything.
My mom's the same way. I'll say something. She's like, what are you saying to me right now? I'm like, gotta teach you the lingo.
That makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, like when I send the acronyms off to him and I'm like, somebody said this in a post to me in a comment. What does this mean?
I get that question. Don't worry. Sometimes I have no idea what they mean. I'm like, something? I'll look it up. I do the same thing. So.
ChatGPT, what did this person say? Anyways.
Exactly. What are they trying to tell me?
Oh gosh, welcome. And oh, it looks beautiful out where you are as well. I know that you're not terribly far from me.
Yes. Thankfully, the weather got better.
Big thank you for saying yes to the book and sharing your story. What I find so very unique about your story is that you actually speak about starting, working through, and then going off of your medications.
Hmm.
And I find that very interesting as someone that is still on hers. And I honestly don't see a way that I wouldn't be moving forward. And it doesn't mean that things can't change. But for so many people, it does feel like I don't want to say a lifelong sentence because that's like terrible. That's not what we're saying. We're more than our diagnoses. But for many, it is a lifelong um, situation of taking medication. But there are some diagnoses that you don't have to. So I want to ask you, what what drove you to the point that you eventually said, because I'm assuming that you said, I no longer want to be on this, right?
Yeah.
In a mental health situation, I don't know how often, and Gretchen is really someone that might be able to answer this, but I don't know how often a practitioner will come to say, listen, mentally, you don't need to be on this medication anymore. So, how did that come about? Did you approach the doctor about this?
Yes, so it did come from me. I did approach my psychiatrist at the time saying, is it possible for me to get off of my meds? It started off when I lived abroad in Thailand for 6 months and I ran out. And I had a plan with my parents. They were going to send me some. I wasn't planning on going off of any of my meds because at the time, I mean, I am not against meds or anything. And circumstantially, I had to, go off of all of them and then figure it out. It's in a different country. So it was a lot all at once, and the plan fell through. Um, and that was the first kind of time that I had been off of meds since I was 13. So it was scary for sure. And being able to get through that experience really showed me that I can handle my depression, anxiety, ADHD. They like to give you a very long list of diagnoses, but I could handle myself off of them. So it was a sense of achievement kind of for me because I had been from such a young age on these different medications. But then coming back, I did it back home, started working again, all of that. I did end up going back on them and went back. They were working. I was doing well. I was working in therapy, outside of therapy, just to kind of get back into the routine of being home. And then about 2 years ago, it was there was a lot of short. I couldn't get my vitamins anymore, which was a very beneficial part of the prescriptions I was taking. It gave me energy where some of my mood stabilizers made me flat and almost like a robot. So it was definitely very beneficial in not having that and being able to get it 1 month and then go a month and a half without it became very challenging. So I basically went back to my psychiatrist and said, how about we go off all of them all at once? Let's do it. And it was definitely challenging. I really had to be very self aware. I let the people in my life know that, hey, I'm going to be especially the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be withdrawing from 3 different medications. I am trying to be self aware and I apologize for anything in advance and I am working through it. I just need you to work with me through this time period. And I'm very lucky to have a very supportive system around me that was very understanding. But so it was my decision and a little bit circumstantial at the same time, which
Can see that
yeah, it was
pushed you to
mhm.
realize that it's something that could be done,
Hmm.
And I am glad that when you returned, you know, perhaps with the change after being away for 6 months, that
Hmm.
you had that there in a
Yeah,
sense
this
to
confidence in being able to do it. So that definitely did help when I went back to my psychiatrist and decided to go off all of them again. Still was definitely challenging, definitely had its moments where I was like, oh, did I completely mess this up by going off of all of them again? But I was luckily able to work with everybody in my life and my therapist, and I kept in touch with my psychiatrist. And he was like, hey, if this doesn't work out, you can come back to me. We'll figure something out. If whether it's that's the same thing you were on, lower dosages, we'll make it work for you. Because while there are some, like, you need medication like for mental illness, as well as if you have an infection or strep throat, like people need medication for certain things and it's not always optional. I was lucky enough to be able to, I think ADHD is the hardest thing I struggle with off of meds, because of there are certain tactics and tools that I can use to work through the hard moments with that, and there are a lot of, kind of not uncontrollable but harder to manage symptoms of having that. So it's definitely it still is a process every day. But I'm
but you've
glad
come
I was able to
so
get off.
far, young lady. You really have. When I think of myself at 23, I think I was diagnosed with depression like when I was 26, but it doesn't mean that I wasn't experiencing it since childhood. It just
Hmm.
went undiagnosed. And then when
Yeah.
it was diagnosed at 26, it was just diagnosed as depression, and I was given an
Hmm.
antidepressant. The end. It wasn't
Hmm.
until 5, 6 years ago that I went on that cocktail of two antidepressants and a mood stabilizer. And something you just said kind of stood out to me, which was, um, you know, how do I say this? I'm losing my train of thought. You felt flat, and
Hmm.
I needed to take something else with it because it's something I didn't understand. Because I said I've always been on one. Why are you giving me two?
Hmm.
Food stabilizer, fine. I've never been on it. He said, no, this one brings you up, but this one brings you down. It's whatever the medical part is behind it. But
Hmm.
it makes me wonder now. When I spoke to him on Friday, because I had my mood stabilizer raised, I was like, why? Like, I was actually going through that. Am I not strong enough? Am I not now at this stage self-aware enough to be able to work through this? And
Hmm.
um, there are times you say your medication is adjusting and you feel flat, and it's that word flat that stuck with me, because that's
Hmm.
what had was happening in the last month, uh,
Yeah.
toward this launch, and it started to freak me out because this is what I love to do, and it's
Hmm.
a livelihood. So I really want to thank you for saying that. I want you to notice this age gap. Okay, she's 23 and I am 50. Diagnoses of any kind do not discriminate. Yes, I understand that people of certain ages and certain perhaps dynamics are more susceptible to some things, but everyone is out there dealing with something, even if they don't speak about it. And it is in these moments where people come on and choose to share exactly what they've been going through in a very real sense, that somebody's hearing this. And they may never share with anyone that they heard it, but you do not know what they would have just taken away from that. Jade, thank you so much for saying yes to this. And so what I wanted to share when Jade first came up with this, I had asked Lisa if Jade would want to be in this book, and I think Jade also goes to school and she works, and she was busy and in the beginning, and I didn't know if she would end up being a part of it. Well, I met Jade in person at an event, and I believe that this came back around, and Jade said yes.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
I didn't know at first. I was like, I'm busy, I can't. And then I met you in person and I was like, oh, okay. This is something I should do. Yeah.
Here we go back around to the connections. And yes, I'm beating these connections things to death. But again, when there is an alignment, when something is meant to happen, things play out the way it's meant to. And I was running late that day, and I was supposed to set up as a volunteer, and I couldn't make it on time. I had an emergency. And Lisa said, "Don't worry about it. Jay's going to be there and she'll start setting up." And that is how we met. Because when I arrived at the table, she was there already setting up to cover for me. So, young lady, I want to say thank you. And I want to show this picture here. I am blind and can't read. Help me out here. Why am I not? Okay, there. 163. Okay. So I see one cutie in the picture. Who is the other cutie getting hugged in the picture? Who's that other cutie?
That's my boy. That's Cooper. He is my rock. We got him, honestly. He helped me through high school. He's my boy.
Aw.
Yeah.
So when the picture showed up, I'm like, yeah, she's supposed to get a picture with a dog.
Yeah,
If you didn't know, I'm a huge dog lover. Don't they give the best hugs? And they don't question you. It's wonderful.
Not at all. Oh, he's the best. All right.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to bring you off stage and hang out in the back and enjoy the rest of the show.
Will do. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, boy, is this hour flying. We are just with a few minutes left, but there is no way that this is going to wrap up in a few minutes. I'm just going to say that before I bring up the next guest. Our next guest is Heidi Williams. I met Heidi, at the end of last year through Crystal Chilcott. Crystal wrote in 3 of my anthologies over the years, and the most recent one actually was spearheaded by her, and it was called Pageants, Pride and Prejudice, Deeper Than the Surface. She is a pageant contestant as well as Heidi, and Crystal wanted to do this book again around breaking stigmas, and Heidi joined the book. When Heidi found out I was doing this one, she wanted to also share about her autism. I encourage you to go read Heidi's chapter. This woman has gone very, very far, so far that she has actually enacted laws in legislature for what she advocates for. So with that, Heidi, welcome, my friend, to the stage. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you.
You know, I know that one of the things that you also deal with is being a bit hard of hearing. And Cheyenne was on this morning and shared her story about how difficult it was for her in the earlier part. And of course, now, she's had some surgeries and she's also, learned so many coping mechanisms. And I thought about that as well. And I draw that parallel because in these types of projects, there can be overlap in experiences. And that helps as well, just within the group, for people to get a different perspective. So Heidi, my very first question to you is this. What made you say yes to doing this again? Because you just did it January 1st, you launched. And you are so busy. Like, you literally, didn't you guys just go through competitions? Because I know you just won a whole bunch of awards.
Yeah, I'm now your current 2026 Miss Alaska for America Woman of Achievement, which is a huge honor as a lifetime achievement award. And then I also am the ambassador for the National Miss America pageant. And both of those have to do with community, about my story, just being able to get out there in the community. Like I've said, I've told you before, not the audience today, but I'm very much into sharing my passions, and that kind of what drives me is to be able to take those passions and then show that people with disabilities are capable of what it is their purpose and for me God's plan is, and to be able to just empower people, because a lot of times it just takes a little act of kindness or a spark, an encouragement to let people know that you can do something, even if it's a different way of doing it. That doesn't make you less than. It just enacts your unique capabilities. And instead of downing what it is that a disability or the term disability stands for, which is what you can't do, what you'll never do, what's impossible, people forget that they can add the word yet to the end of it and do amazing things. I never thought I'd be in this position. You asked me why I did it again. I did it again because just in the last 5 months, I've had another law pass for the hard of hearing and deaf education support here in Alaska. I've had a documentary that I'm working on. I performed in a theatrical production with the Down Syndrome Network that combined people with autism, Down syndrome on a live stage performing a show. I did the pageant just real recently and knocked another stigma out because we became the first pageant to ever have 4 people with disabilities take the stage. And we had 1 wheelchair person, couldn't walk, rolled wheelchair right on in a bathing suit. And another thing, we had somebody with traumatic brain injury and 2 of us with autism, and we all took the stage.
I love it.
And
Redefining what beauty means, and beauty.
Exactly. We're redefining the stereotyping of what beauty signifies. It's what's on the inside of a person. It's what a person has to offer. And sometimes when you're completely told that you'll never amount to anything, you don't have anything that society would need from you, you're not valuable, people believe what they hear, especially when they hear it so much. And that's why it's so important to reverse that and have those people that come along your side that will tell you that's not true. You stop thinking that way. Don't think that way. Think the way that you are meant to be. And that meant to be may be defined differently, but that's great, because you don't want to be the same as everybody else. I tell everybody, I said, for an autistic person, we're very logical. And so logically speaking, if we were all the same, the world would be extremely boring and nobody would have anything to offer anybody. So I'm not quite sure why being unique or being different is a bad thing, because to me it's not. It's just the way that you think or the way that you're designed, or you may have a struggle nobody else has, but that you can use that to give to other people to help them rise along their journey.
Yes, and I'm totally sharing this because did you share that you are a grandmother?
I am. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and almost a 4-year-old grandsons. And then I have a almost 5-year-old granddaughter. So,
what an incredible legacy you are leaving. And
thank you.
You know,
and my grandson, just so you know, is also autistic, so we're ciphering through that. And both of my kids are also on the spectrum, and they're adults and thriving.
So. You know what? I'm so happy to hear that you are a shining example. You've been through this. You can help guide them through it, and you are leaving quite a legacy. Not just, oh gosh, to be enacted into law is big as it is, but you have put 2 of your stories now into print, and these things are forever going to be there for your grandchildren and their grandchildren to read about who you were, what you stood for, and the footprint you left in this world. I am grateful that among all the things you had going on, and you were worried, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to meet deadline, but I really, really want to do this. Am I late?
hard for me. It really is. It causes the meltdowns, and a lot of people don't understand that feeling of failure or not meeting people's expectations is something very real. And with autism, I don't know if this is the right word, exemplified maybe is what I'm thinking. Like it takes like 10 times more of a feeling and exasperates it and can blow it up. And so it's just super hard because I don't want to disappoint anybody. I want to like leave a positive spin and leave, the ability to
It's
make a difference.
And
And so this book was challenging because I just finished with the first one. But this book is different than the last one. The last one just talked about my pageant journey and disabilities. This is the first time in my life I had to sit down and try to put my entire life in a chapter. Okay, I needed an entire book to do that, which is why I need my autobiography.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank
There's
you.
so much that you could capture in a chapter, and it has to be told very succinctly, and you did that. And that is some of the pleasure that I get working with everyone. How do you put your entire experience into a chapter? You can't. But if you know what is that message you want to drive,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to put together what you need to pull from different parts of your journey. And you did that. And actually, in your one, you did share a diagram.
Yes.
She reached out to me and asked me, she said, Nick, I know this is probably not something I can do, but please, can I share a diagram in here? Because I think it's really
part of the visual acuity. And how do I explain it without showing it? And I'm really grateful that you allowed me to put that diagram in because it's helped so many people. They hear the word autism. You hear it every day. But to sit down and say, what is it exactly? Because we're all different. You don't see me. I mean, I'm working with my hands right now because I'm excited. But you don't see me going like this, or doing things that are considered stereotyping. And it depends on where you're at in your journey, how far you've come. You're not that 3, 5 to 4 or 5-year-old kid that's hitting their head up against the wall, can't go in a grocery store, melting down physically that you see. But it doesn't mean as an adult, it's not internally happening. And I have to work through that. And it's only one of the diagnoses. I know that I'm famous for talking about autism and being hard of hearing, but I talk about in my book, I've got 9 of them, 9 labels, not just 2.
And they're gonna have to read the book so that they can.
Yeah, you have to read the book.
Some of what you are facing.
I'm diagnosed with what they call hidden mental and physical disabilities.
Yes.
That I battle. And sorry, I talk a lot.
That's okay. Listen, we're here to celebrate this day and celebrate all of us, all of our stories. I want to thank you so much for saying yes to the book. People in the audience, if you scan the QR code above Heidi, you could get a copy of your book today. The ebook is just 99 cents. I'm sorry, for today only. And Heidi, I'm going to bring you backstage now. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to run.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm going to run a quick 1-minute video and then we're going to sign off again. Oh, wait, we can't sign off. Let me bring you backstage. I forgot to answer the trivia question on who won. How could I? I'll bring you. All right.
Thank you.
Wow. So I'm like running along here, not paying attention. So I do believe that someone answered the question correctly in the comment, and it was Felipe Cofino. Felipe Cofino is the person that Guiding Brilliant Writers Publishing is going to be putting out his 2nd storybook this year, and that was Merrill Cass. So Merrill, you're going to get that $10 Amazon gift card. And I did have a $15 Amazon gift card to give away, and I am going to give that away, but because we are wrapping up, I'm going to put it in a post tomorrow morning. How's that? So I am going to put the question in a post tomorrow morning, and whoever gets that correct there will get that $15 Amazon gift card. So please enjoy this short video before we sign off. Thank you again for all the incredible support. Loved all the comments. And just know that when you attend and when you purchase a copy of this book, you're witnessing many great journeys, but you are also witnessing those of people you will never meet. Thank you so much.
They gave it a name in a cold white room, spoken whispers like a spell of my doom. But I've got a soul that can't diagnose. I've walked through fire and I'm still close to everything I'm meant to be, not just what they see. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm not their doubt. I've got a voice and I'm gonna shout. I've got dreams that won't be tamed. I've got joy they can't explain. So don't you write my story yet. I'm more than limits and regret. I'm still rising year by year. I'm not my diagnosis, I'm still here. Some days hurt, some days shine, but I've made peace with this heart of mine. I've got cracks, but they let light in. That's where the strength begins. No shame in being real, that's how I heal.